Well, in the category of what a difference a day makes, snow, oof, crud, yuck. So anyway, yeah, response video, I think, of sorts, of kinds. Yep. iDeist guy. Yeah, I think I'll put it on the VR site, I guess. Probably without editing. Why not?
Yeah, hi everybody. This is iDeist here. I'm just making a little video about transhumanism in regards to. I normally go into Amendum Gary's room, Do Not God on Stickam on Saturday nights at midnight, and him and I always have a contention with each other about. Well, he seems to be.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, we go over this, and then we go over this, and then we go over this, and then we go over it again and again and again. And yeah, I just think it's very unrealistic to have a conversation about the future. You end up just doing some sort of dopey Buck Rogers thing if you're not confined to some sort of um, obligation to make it all fit together and reasonable. And I think I've done that with virtual reality. I've explained the fail-safe nature, that it's basically the only way human beings can take consciousness to the next level um, is to augment perception, because reality is kind of samey. Even out there in the universe, same stuff, a lot of it. And you're going to find you need some other way to entertain your psychology, um, yeah, than to spin around in circles or run around in circles inside your little space capsule, even if that's what you were doing. But even on this planet, the physical limitations are there. You can't really do, anything you want to do. You can't put on some gigantor suit and go stomping about. It's just it's more complicated, and you're just being unfair to that complication.
Proponent of virtual reality, which I think is gay and I think it's stupid. And
Yeah, well, whatever. Um, and your argument for that is that it's unnatural. That's basically your argument. You know, you're glued to the DNA profile, and you think. I mean, it's pretty gay to think you can fix something from the outside. It's about as gay as your makeup videos you keep complaining about. Yeah, I think transhumanism is about as gay as makeup.
I don't use the word gay in a derogatory term. I use it as kind of a jokey term. Anyway, to make a long story longer, yeah, all right. Well, here's my contention. He seems to think that virtual reality would be better than transhumanism. Well,
Well, they both have the same origin, so it's sort of a stupid argument anyway. They're both going to be dependent on technology, advancements in microtechnology. And, if we can send little nanobots to go attack cancer, we can also send nanobots to hook up wires to our perceptual centers in our brain. And those two things are probably going to happen together on purpose, because there's all kinds of human ailments that have to do with perception and connection and consciousness and coma, all kinds of different states of being that would also be integrated, I can't say that word, sorry, cat distraction, into whatever this crap would be.
transhumanism is already here. Okay. Bottom line is, it's already here, and you can't stop it.
Whatever. I'm not going to stop it. The practical limitations, the practicality of it's going to stop it. And I can make the same argument that virtual reality is already here. It's just really sucks compared to where it could be. But yeah, what's winning? Human augmentation, outside of the crude stuff like breast implants and nose jobs, versus video games. What market's winning? Um, no contest, I'd argue.
Transhumanism is going to be here until we actually transform into transhumanists as a conglomerative or as a collective. And we agree. I mean, if you know anybody that's already had LASIK surgery, if you know anybody that has a prosthetic limb,
Well, LASIK isn't exactly transhumanism. But whatever. I mean, you're taking it to some gross extreme there. And you shouldn't even bring up the artificial limb thing because that's a perfect example of the flaw in your perfect world is that even in this world we can't get those limbs. There's little kids in Africa, running around, with crooked branches hooked on their legs. So get real.
Oh, that's transhumanism. Anyway, to make a long story longer, his major contention is that, why do all that, basic bullshit when you can just plug yourself into a virtual reality and, you can have the, 72 virgins and you can do this and do that and whatever else. And,
Yeah, and whatever else. The point is you can do anything else. You can do everything transhumanism could do perceptually, plus everything else, plus an infinite other choices. Anything a human can imagine, some other human can live in that world. Um, yeah, sorry, cat. Um, and that's just the fact of it. So it's not blah, 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 blah. No, there's a huge difference. In virtual reality, you're not limited by what you were born with. You're not limited by the physical requirements of the world. You can breathe in space. You can do anything.
I'm sure most of us that are, technologically savvy know that there's always somebody that can throw a bug in there. And transhumanistically wise, people can throw a bug in there as well. The fact of the matter is that we live in a finite universe, okay? So even if you're a virtual realityist, if you want to use that terminology, yeah, eventually our sun's going to burn out and we're not going to be able to traverse the universe. Uh,
Yeah, whatever. Traverse the universe again, doing what? You know, just just living in our fantasy worlds of I want, crude emotional chases. So, I mean, if you can construct some ambition for the human race, well, some job that needs doing, then maybe you have an argument. But otherwise, no.
um, the fact of the matter is that medically, right now, we're going into nanotechnology. We're going to be injecting little robots into our systems to get rid of the cancers, to get rid of all the stuff that was mapped in the genomes. Okay? This is
Ooh, so you're fighting nature again. Yeah, except you want to wallow in it. It's just a joke. But again, the same little nanobots will be heading for the brain also.
this is fact, okay? This isn't me blowing smoke. You guys can say, oh, yeah, well, he believes in virtual reality. He's a nut. He believes in transhumanism. He's a nut. No. I mean, this is factuality, okay? By the year 2029, the computer is going to be as smart as we are. It's going to be able to.
Whatever. It's already smarter than we are in some respects. In other respects, it's dumber than we are. So, I mean, that's just, again, what's this curve of learning? I mean, how much do you really need to know? I mean, can't you master a subject? Can you master algebra? Can you know 99% of any of it that's worth knowing? I mean, you can know a tree. You can know pretty much every mechanism and every molecule and every action and um, everything about its reality. And we've sort of done that with this life thing. So this intelligence argument doesn't go anywhere. Beyond solving problems, there's nothing for intelligence to do.
perform and actually act as equal as ourselves. So anyway, to get off that boat,
Yeah, well, what equality? So you're making this argument in 2029 we're going to have artificial consciousness? I don't think so.
what I was saying earlier is that we live in a finite universe. So if we're actually going to be able to traverse the universe to get outside of our own planet, outside of Earth, virtual reality is not going to help us. So we're
Well, of course it would, because obviously it would be able to reduce, the substance of our identity to, its electronics, and you could theoretically store our identity on more secure and stable, product, digital memory. And make it more durable and more capable of traversing space. So virtual reality is more is closer to the non-natural state of durability our essence needs to be in to travel in space than your whatever synthetic body bullshit.
Going to need some type of non-organic self to get off of here.
Again, if you're going to go there, if that's what you're saying transhumanism is, turning into a non-organic self, that's virtual reality also. That's the same mechanics. So there's not a conflict there.
So what would be the way to do that? Transhumanism. Not affected by radiation, not affected by gravity. Well, this is going to be affected by gravity. Not affected.
Yeah, well, look, if you still have a body, you're still going to have trouble getting through space. So, again, I'm going to argue that virtual reality tends to just. The only part that virtual reality cares about is your consciousness and the mechanisms that make it function. And that's all we can reduce you all the way down to that, which might be a few ounces of biological mass. You have a better chance getting a few ounces of biological mass through space than you do getting hundreds of pounds of it through space.
By hunger, not affected by pain. If we get injured, we can actually repair ourselves.
Yeah, well, you just said it before that, though. If we get injured, we also could just not bother, because we could just disable our perception of injury. So even that doesn't go anywhere.
Uh, it's bottom line is it's the way that it is, and it's the way that it's going to be. I mean, you can go in your little virtual reality world and say, "Oh, well, this is good, and this is going to be better." No, it's not going to be better. Virtual reality is
Sorry, it's impossible for you to say that it's not going to be. It already is. People have demonstrated it. They rather live in virtual worlds than in reality. It's always already demonstrated itself a winner. Um, and what you can't demonstrate is that all this external physical playing with the environment of the human is at all practical and at all cost effective. Virtual reality will run human beings on tiny, tiny, tiny bits of energy and external influence, where your transhumanism will require buildings and all kinds of hardware to create a world for your transhumans to navigate.
pretty much crap. It's basically saying, "Oh, well, I want to get rid of the inevitable and forget about reality and plug myself into some fake world and pretend."
I mean, it's just so ironic for you to talk about fake while you're talking about transhumanism. I mean, it's just so silly in a way. I mean, it's preposterously silly. As you walk around on with your robotic legs and your robotic arms and your robotic organs and your robotic consciousness. I mean, it's just so funny.
Like everything's going to be copacetic. No, that's not the way it's going to be.
No, it's not the way it's going to be. Says you. Like I said, it's already here. What's here has proven itself. If I could put on the market today a device that people put in their on their heads and it transports their consciousness into video games, I'm going to sell 10 billion copies of it. You know it.
What it's going to be is that we're still going to have the propunction of getting hit by fucking meteorites or asteroids or get blasted by fucking earthquakes or tsunamis. Hence,
Yeah, well, whatever. Like I said, obviously also that's just as obvious that it's so much easier to protect the kernel of our consciousness. All right? If I could put 7 billion consciousnesses in this house, all right, then obviously I could make this house indestructible, impervious to any natural disaster. I mean, that is doable. I could put it in a completely fail-safe containment where there's no way you can do that with 7 billion humans plus all the hardware and instrumentality you want to transhuman them with.
hand, we're going to get fucking tornadoes, snowstorms, this and that, so on and so forth. I mean, right now, the way that it goes is that, what, is it every, like, 350 or 250 to 400 years that
Again, there's no point in making these arguments. You're the one advocating the hardware solution. I'm advocating the software solution.
the Pacific coast of California is supposed to be hit by a really bad earthquake, similar to what was hit by Japan last week or the week before. I'm sorry if my time's off, but yeah, I mean that shit. I mean we can rebuild and whatever else, but I digress. Anyway,
Yeah.
if we're gonna actually get off this ball of dirt, which I think we want to do anyway, because
Yeah, and go to another ball of dirt, and then go to another ball of dirt, and then go to another ball of dirt, and then go to another ball of dirt. I mean, for what? Again, so all you addicts can just keep going and searching for your better heroin. I mean, that's all you're basically saying here. You don't have a mission.
the whole purpose of us being humans is actually to explore and to find different things.
Who said? Yeah, oh, you do. Oh, okay, I get it. So the whole purpose of humans is to explore and find different things. And so even when we know the thing, we just got to keep walking around the thing. So when you know a tree, you just keep climbing the tree, and then you fall out of the tree, and then you climb the tree, and you fall out of the tree, and you climb the tree, and you fall out of the tree. No, it's stupid, I think.
Plugging ourselves into a virtual reality is kind of like a cop out. It's kind of cowardice, if you ask me.
Well, you seem like the one afraid of something, so I don't know. Um, yeah, whatever. That you can say that to anything, any argument on any subject. You just call the other side a faggot and a sissy. So yeah, bravo. I mean, that's like the Hitler card or something. It's just stupid. Um, whatever. Yeah. It obviously it's sissy in the sense that it has this logical component where you do it the easy way, not the hard way. You do it the efficient way, not the inefficient way. You do it the clean, precise way rather than the sloppy, reckless way. Yeah, so yeah, it's real sissy in that sense. It's like practical and logical and intelligent rather than stupid, moronic, and fucktarded.
Kind of like, oh, well, let's forget about all of the reality, plug ourselves into a virtual reality, and we don't have to play the game anymore. Well, if you don't play
Well, no, we'll be playing the game. We'll just be playing a better game. It won't be this stupid, mundane game. It will be the game where you can be anybody you want to be, anytime you want to be it. You can be the Terminator, and then you can be James Bond, and then you can be Daffy Duck, and then you can do whatever you want. You can explore anything you want. You can think about anything you want. You can be Albert Einstein. You can be anything in the imaginable universe of imagination. Yeah, anything that can be imagined, you can live. Oh yeah, how terribly limiting. Oh, ooh, ooh.
the game, that's completely fine. I actually want to play the game to win. And
Yeah, well, so right there, you've again revealed yourself as a complete moron. There's no winning, asshole. There's the game. And if you're playing the game to win, you're going to lose the game because you can't play the game to win. The game is the life is the journey, not the destination thing, asshole. So you fell right into that trap. And what's a better trip? What's a better, if you're going to take a journey, what's better? Trying to augment your world in this terribly inefficient way where a only a tiny percent of humanity will get to lick your golden popsicle. Yeah, I mean, fuck you. It's all fail doing this hardware thing.
according to you, it might be a non-win game or a no-sum game. According to
According to me, the point is that in virtual reality, you could live exactly your stupid world. You could live in a world where you do all these hardware augmentations to the world, and then you have little nanobots cure your cancer and all that. And you can live in that idiotic world if you want to. I mean, most people will choose not to do that. They'll choose to get directly to the fun orgy.
this universe, well, I'm one of the proponents of multiverses, so I would actually like to have the at least at
Yeah, well, what's even the point then? That's like saying I'm a proponent of the God delusion or some other delusion. So you just make up some multiverse crap and then make that the premise of your argument. Well, then that just makes your argument shit.
At the least, have the opportunity to say, okay, well, hey, you know what? I give it my best shot, and maybe there isn't a multiverse, but if I didn't do it, then I could be like, oh yeah, well, I'll plug myself into a virtual reality and just cop out. No. What I'm
Again, cop out from what? From what? What's your ambition here? I mean, we can sort of figure out that that this life thing doesn't happen all over the place because there aren't a bunch of people who started with a million-year head start to us or a billion-year head start to us who have showed up here, saying, iDeist guy back at our home planet said we should come out here and fuck with you guys. And so they'll come all the way out here to do what exactly? They're just going to say, where's the orgy at? I mean, don't you have a virtual orgy? Oh, come on, you fuckers. You're telling me you don't have a virtual orgy? God, you people are retarded. That's what they're going to do. And they go back home.
going to do is I'm going to be a proponent of transhumanism. I'm going to say what we should do is harness our intelligence because we all know that our intelligence fires on synapses, which
Oh, whatever. Again, intelligence just solves problems. So you have to identify a problem and then you use your intelligence to contrive, develop a solution to the problem. And the whole point is to find the straight line solution, to find the most direct, the most efficient solution. Yeah, and I just don't, it's not efficient to create a world for you to live in. It's efficient to create a perception for you to live in.
is basically electricity. Find out how to do that, put that in a non-organic type of machine.
Yeah, well, whatever. A non-organic type of machine that has to synthesize sensation and consciousness in some sort of manner that's going to be similar to our own, in that it has to be coherent, right? I mean, pain has to be connected to the negative things and pleasure has to be connected to the positive things. But isn't that all arbitrary unless it is intelligent? So I mean, you know, how are you're saying that in what 20 years we're going to have the technology to do that, to synthesize consciousness? Come on.
Cyber-organize our existence, and so we have like a system.
It won't be our existence anyway. And so what will we do? Will we just keep duplicating your existence? Will we just take the same human memories, the same human adventuring, the same human disposition, and just keep recycling it into a new cybergenetic organism thing, whatever it is, forever and ever? I mean, come on. It doesn't go anywhere.
Where we can remove a limb if we need to. Hopefully nobody ever has to need to. And then actually be able to traverse the universe.
With our removed limb. Yeah, okay, that'll make the difference. If we have the little Darth Vader mechanical hand that somehow, yeah, we'll be able to travel light speed then. Yeah, I think it's going to take a little more than that.
Hop into a ship and fucking travel for 500 years and say, hey, listen, oh, isn't this cool? I don't need to eat. I don't feel any pain. I don't feel any of this, feel any of that. And I'm not saying to get rid of all of our senses.
Well, I'll say right there, again, why wouldn't virtual reality be the efficient way to do all of that? You could reduce consciousness to its substance and only take the substance on the adventure.
I'm
You
not
don't.
saying like getting rid of caring or get rid of loving or whatever else. But you know what? That really doesn't mean shit either at the end of the game. I mean, seriously,
Seriously, yeah, seriously. The only thing you live for doesn't mean shit. Oh, okay. I mean, it's the stupid argument. We're only living because of our addiction, because we have that horniness for things. And now you're saying that somehow, yeah, you're gonna have some way of motivating your intelligent bot into doing anything if he doesn't have a hard dick. Come on, get real.
if you're gonna propose that it's a zero sum game, then what's the fucking loss at it? Even if we lose the fucking the human nature of ourselves, wouldn't it be better at least to fucking be able to keep going? And if there is the potential that there is a multiverse,
Yeah, well, it's fine. Like I said, you want to digitize your little brain, and we'll put it on a little chip, and we'll send it out into space to do what? Are you going to be capable of making the decisions that might be thrust upon you. Let's say you go out there 500 years away, and you find a crude little planet with, you know, where the little blue crawly things are eating the little purple crawly things, and the little purple things are screaming, and green crap is flying out of their ears and shit, or what you think are their ears anyway. What are you going to do about it? Are you going to take responsibility for knowing it exists and take responsibility for the welfares that are now your responsibility?
That the way that we're going to be able to get through it isn't going to be organically. It's going to be by transhumanism. So anyway,
Again, transhumanism, by your definition, sounds an awful lot like, um, virtual reality. The same mechanics are going to be required. So you're just saying that don't allow the transhuman to delude him, to be deluded, to be entertained, and to watch movies. That's basically what you're saying, right? Don't allow the transhumans to watch movies, because the movies of the future will be, full dimension, full immersion, participation. They'll be interactive devices, and so they won't be allowed to watch movies, because movies will be interactive devices that people will be immersed into. Yeah, so you're just basically now you're just prohibiting human beings from watching movies. That sounds really religious or something. That sounds like the worst Muslim. You're fucking now banning movies. You fucker, you.
um, I'd actually like to go back to relative recent news. I mean, people with cancer now, and if you want to argue this with your virtual reality, people with cancer now. What is their greatest hope? Is that some way that we can find some kind of nanotechnology that we can.
Well, you know what? If you don't have organs, livers, kidneys, all that other kind of crap, can't get cancer. Yeah, that's the real solution, right? Is not to bother with that crap. The brain is the game. So yeah, fuck the organs. No cancer. Yeah, I'm all for that. So that's sort of transhumany. Yep. But that's the same as virtual reality. Yep.
Inject these little robots into our, we've mapped our genome, that we can actually inject these robots into our id, and that they can actually find those little bastards that are causing all this cancer and go there and
Yeah, well, whatever. I mean, the simpler solution's going to be, augmenting the genetics before the human develops to make it impervious to the cancer in the first place.
kill them, and do all these things. Virtual reality is almost like closing your eyes and saying, hey, you know what? I give up. Well, I'm not going to.
Yeah, well, whatever. I mean, again, you can make the same argument, so that most of what people entertain themselves with in their usual lives is just a cop out and giving up, because they're not out in the real world, the jungle, fighting with tigers for their rotten corpse dinner. Yeah, come on. This is just such crap.
give up. And you know what? I'm probably not going to ever see the transhumanism existence. I'm probably not going to see people traversing to different planets. But
Yeah. No, pretty much take that. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
know what though? I can be a cheerleader for them, and I can actually be a fucking person that says, hey, listen, I gave it, my 2 cents to say, hey, I think it's
Yeah, I think it'd be swell if, yeah, the rich elite and, a few select human beings, we invest a whole lot of money and create a whole bunch of slaves to work for them. Because that's all this is going to be.
a worthwhile cause. And us as a species, we just didn't get fucking wiped out because we gave up. And we decided to put some sunglasses on and plug ourselves into the virtual reality machine.
And again, you're just speculating that there's some dishes that need to be washed over there in Alpha Centauri, and human beings have to get on their little horse and run the fuck over there and go wash those dishes. That's your argument. Hmm. Well, good luck with that.
That seems to me is what your answer is. And you know what? I will not do that. I won't. I cannot. I can't.
Yeah, I can't, because I'm too fucking addicted. I can't let go of the heroin stick. No, I can't let go of it. I can't. I gotta keep chasing it.
I like to, I'm a very competitive person, and I would actually like.
Well, whatever. That's not exactly a great thing to bring up in the middle of a scientific style argument, where you're supposed to be demonstrating how you've got a rational argument defending this pursuit of the golden Cheeto, and in the multiverse, no less. Um, if you're going to do all of that crap, there's no real point in talking about your competitiveness, because that's just human bullshit. I mean, that's just knee jerky. Um, I like to drool on myself kind of crap, and that's not a very good argument. So you're drooling for it. It's not that it's the right thing to do, it's just that you're horny for it.
To have my prodigy, or even people that aren't my prodigy, to be able to move on and have a better life.
Yeah, everybody's been promising that. They've been promising that better life thing forever and ever. And that's the whole core of religion, isn't it? Isn't it just basically, yeah, well, it all sucks, but we're promising you this little golden, ruby encrusted, you know, city in the sky kind of bullshit, and you're just doing the same thing.
Yeah, better life without the pain, without the hunger, without the bullshit that we have right now, and that would be transhumanism.
Well, like I said, we can't do the the whatever transhumanism we have right now. We can't evenly distribute it so equally. So you got a big problem to solve there before you can even start this conversation.
Have Darfur, you wouldn't have Libya, you wouldn't have Afghanistan, you wouldn't have Iraq, you'd have every.
Well, I think you would if you're going to be dependent on resources to improve people's lives rather than perception. Perception's easy to control. Resources are hard to control.
Everybody being equal. You would have people that could all get along with each other. With
Oh, whatever. Again, pie in the sky bullshit. How do you get your nanotechnology from here to there in this context of this world where these 7 billion people aren't doing any of that cooperation crap?
they are transhumanistic or not, and have a potentially have a fruitful life.
Oh, I have a fruit for life. Yeah, we'll make fruit. That'll be our plan for the universe. We'll just go across the universe with our little basket of apples, and we'll give away free apples to the rest of the universe. Eh, this sounds pretty gay.
Anyway, I would like other people's opinions on this. I'm not saying that I'm 100% right, but I know for a fact that matters. That
Well, whatever. That's another thing. There's just no point in saying. Okay, there's just no point in saying I might be completely full of shit. Yeah, well, you might be. So why open your mouth?
we're not going to be able to traverse the universe just because of gravity, radiation, um, time, travel.
Again, there's nothing to do with transhumanism versus virtual reality. Okay, there's nothing in virtual reality that's saying you can't do virtual reality in a space capsule if that's what you insist upon doing. But isn't that kind of a separate question? I mean, how we entertain human beings is consciousness, and what we do with human beings, those are really two separate questions, aren't there? Whether there's some ambition or some mission that the human race needs to go on, well, that's a separate argument. Transhumanism versus virtual reality has absolutely nothing to do with that question. If you create virtual reality, you will create instrumentality that'll make it just as easy for you to transport consciousness. Obviously, I think, right? I mean, because virtual reality is basically saying, yeah, just find the kernel of the consciousness and entertain it. So the technology is completely conducive to the reductionism of our physical body that needs to be accomplished for there to be any realistic hope of doing any substantial space travel.
Distance. I mean, everything would kill us if we were organic. I mean, we're basically fucking shells. But I think that if we could actually.
Yeah, again, though, the technology to duplicate the organic parts that create the illusion of consciousness, you're nowhere close to doing that. So, I mean, you got to talk about how we're going to survive the next 100 years to get to that kind of place.
like I said earlier, harness ourselves into a cybernetic organism and be able to traverse the universe heartily, then we'd actually be able to, be
Heartily. I don't know what heartily means. You know, what does that mean? Because we, even though we don't need to, we duplicate, you know, the human form, you know, mechanically. I mean, why would we bother? If we're gonna make a mechanical body, why wouldn't we make ourselves insectoids then? You know, be transectoids. You know, let's give ourselves 6 arms and legs, and let's give ourselves antennas with radar and sonar. I mean, come on.
somebody where, the pyramids just don't pop up and we don't know who built them. This way we could
Yeah, we know who built them.
come back and be like, hey, you know what? We're the ones that built the skyscrapers in New York. We're the ones
Yeah, marvelous, fantastic. The ones that are going to fall down. Didn't you predict they're going to fall down? That's right. You said, oh yeah, every 200 years we have a big, yeah, that's right. They're going to fall down.
that built the bridges in fucking London. We're the ones that did this and did that. So, yeah. I haven't been on in a while, but I felt I had to make this video. I would love to hear arguments, because if you don't make any arguments, then I don't have any videos to make.
Whatever. I mean, you've had the arguments made to you over and over and over, and you just keep ignoring them. You don't respond to the argument, which is, again, you're you're calling transhumanism. You're misidentifying it. You made an argument here for intergalactic space travel. That's a different subject, moron.
Afterwards. And I'm sure that I'm not 100% on everything I say, but I'm thinking it's a pretty good argument. As always, I hope everyone's well, and until next time,
Yeah.
think hard.
Think hard. Yeah, well, you're not thinking hard enough. That's for sure. So anyway, enough of the video. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, synthesize that. Blah. Yeah.